Today I am in Wuhan, China, and in this video I want to talk about my experiences of traveling in China. This is already my 4th visit to China in the past 16 months, and every time I come here I'm quite impressed. And yeah, in this video I'm going to share 5 reasons why you should visit China as well, and I'm also going to share 3 traveling tips for visiting this country. And yeah, first of all, whenever I'm posting videos about China, I get so many comments, especially from Western people, saying things like, oh, how can you visit China? It's dirty, it's polluted, the food will make you sick, it's dangerous to travel there as a Westerner, when they see you filming they will put you in jail. Yeah, these are actual comments that I got, and I'm always surprised by how bad many people think about China. And also the people that are writing these comments, they really believe that, which makes it even crazier for me, to be honest. And I'm always wondering, where is all this hate towards China coming from? And it's probably coming from the things they saw about China in the media, but it is actually so far away from the reality. So let me explain. Let's start with the 5 reasons why you should visit China as well. Reason number 1, China is super futuristic and modern. It is definitely the most modern and most futuristic country I have ever been to, and every time I'm coming back here it always impresses me, like, wow, this is great, this is modern, this is so technology advanced. For example, I took a bus in Guangzhou, southern China, without a driver. They also have metro trains here that are running without a driver. I even heard that they are also introducing driverless taxis now throughout China. It's currently in like a test phase, but there are already about, I think, 1,000 driverless taxis in different cities around China. But not only like big futuristic things like this, it's also many small things that always make me think like, oh, why don't we have that in Germany, in my country? To give you an example, when you're taking the metro here in China, while you're waiting for the train, there are screens that tell you how full the next train is. You can even see like which card is how full. So for example, the screen says the card in the middle is 50% full, the card at the front is 20% full, the card at the end is only 10% full. So you know exactly which card has the most people. And not only that, I also saw metro trains here where you can see how cold which card of the next train is. So the aircon is regulated differently in different cards of the train. And you can see that while you're waiting for the train. A very simple system, but so convenient. And then yeah, literally everywhere in China you can just pay by using an app. It's basically a cashless society here. And I know many people don't like that. I'm always getting lots of comments about that, how bad a cashless society is. But the truth is, whether you like it or not, it makes the life very convenient. You don't need to carry cash anymore. You can just simply pay by scanning a QR code, and that's just something very convenient. So China is very futuristic, modern, and that leads to a very convenient travel experience. The infrastructure is very well. You can take modern high-speed trains to all corners of the country. When you're going to the airports, it's very well organized. They are clean, they are decent. So overall, because it is so modern here and well organized, you can have a very convenient travel experience here. And then reason number 2, it is very inexpensive here. I find China to be a very affordable country to travel around. Especially the costs for transportation and food are very low here. You can easily find a local meal for about $1 to $2, and the local meals here are pretty good. I will talk about that point later. If you take the metro trains, a train ride usually costs less than $1, so the metro rides are inexpensive. Also taking taxis here, like usually on average you pay about 1 yuan per minute, and I know the price is not based on the minutes, it's based on the kilometer, but usually it comes down to about 1 to 2 yuan per minute. So like a 20-minute taxi ride in the city usually costs around 20 to 30 yuan, which is like $3 to $4, and you can get a taxi via an app, or you can also take the metro taxis here. Never had a problem with them. They're always using the meter, and they are usually about the same price as the taxis you can get via an app. And also the hotels here. I think this is probably the number 1 country for me when it comes to getting the most value for your money in hotels. On this trip I am in China now for 2 weeks, and the whole 2 weeks I stayed in either Marriott or Hilton hotels, which are well-known Western brands. So you're having a high Western standard in these hotels. and I never paid more than $100 per night. And that gave me, for example, on Sanya Island, a beautiful ocean view room right at the beach. It gives me an incredible view here from my room in Wuhan. And some of the hotels where I stayed were only like $60 to $70, and that always gave me a very Western standards, decent room, including breakfast. So you can stay in Western hotels for like $60, $70, $80 per night easily in every major Chinese city. And yeah, I'm currently exploring the area around the yellow crane tower, which we saw at the beginning. Hello, ni hao. I can walk here? Yeah? Okay. Okay, 谢谢. Thank you. Yeah, it's a rainy day here in Wuhan today, but it's actually my last day in China. I have to leave China tomorrow because my visa ends. So I wanted to see this place despite the rain. And yeah, reason number 3 why you should visit China. It's a huge and diverse and interesting country. You can visit the big famous cities like Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou. And these cities are very interesting to visit because they are so modern and futuristic. But you can also visit beautiful mountain areas. You can make a visit to a tropical island, Hainan Island, where you have beautiful beaches and Southeast Asian-like vibes. Or you can go to the far west of China, the Xinjiang province, where there is a very interesting mix of like Muslim, Middle Eastern, Central Asian culture together with the Chinese culture. So you just need to look at the map. You can see how huge China is, and that gives you an idea of how diverse and interesting this country is to visit, with so many different places all around. And yeah, I'm in Wuhan now, which is my 9th city in China that I'm visiting. So I saw huge cities like Shanghai, Beijing or Guangzhou, but I also visited some smaller cities, for example Harbin in northeast China or Kashgar, which is near the Tajikistan border in far west China. So I have seen plenty of different Chinese cities all around the country basically, and each city has a unique touch to it, and that makes it so interesting for me to travel around to different corners of China. And then reason number 4, it is a very safe country. No matter where in China I have been to, I never worried about my safety. Like, you know, there are so many cameras everywhere in China. There's one right here. And yeah, this is also a topic that triggers many people. Every time I'm mentioning the cameras in China, like there are people in the comment section complaining about that, oh, this is such a high level of surveillance, that is not good for the people. But it leads to a very, very safe environment. And I, as a solo traveler, I like it when I am somewhere and I can just walk around, whether it's during the day or after sunset, and I can just feel safe. I don't need to worry about any safety things. Or for example, when I was at the beach in Sanya, I'm a solo traveler at the beach. What do you do with all your belongings when you want to go into the water? Like your wallet, your camera, your phone. You just leave it at the beach. And in other countries, I wouldn't dare to do that. But here in China, because there were literally cameras everywhere on the beach, I was like 99% sure that nobody is going to steal my things. And that also makes the travel experience overall quite convenient. And yeah, I'm always getting many questions about how safe is a country? Is it safe for solo travelers? Is it safe for female travelers? And well, I can say that as a solo traveler, I feel very, very safe in China. I can't say that for female solo travelers, obviously, because I'm not a woman, but I do think that it is also quite safe here for female solo travelers. And I think I might have came to a dead end here. Oh, maybe I can continue here. Yeah, the good thing when you're visiting touristy places, and this is one of the most famous ancient places in all of China actually, but when you come here on a rainy day, you don't have to share it with many people. But yeah, reason number 5. The food in China is also incredible. No matter to which corner of the country I went, I always found the local food to be very tasty and very delicious. And as I said already earlier, also very inexpensive. So usually, no matter where in China you are, even in the big cities like Shanghai, you can find local meals for under $2. And that is usually quite a big portion. And I even have to say that the Chinese food is my most favorite cuisine in Asia. I especially like the Cantonese cuisine, so the food that you can find primarily in southern China, around Hong Kong, Guangzhou. That is my favorite cuisine in all of Asia. And yeah, you can find so many different types of noodles here, noodle soups, rice dishes, meat dishes. I absolutely love the way they can cook braised meat here in China. And you always have a huge variety of different cuisines. Like every Chinese city, you can not only find restaurants that are serving food from that region or that city, you can also find different foods, different cuisines in each city. For example, here in Wuhan, right next to my hotel is actually a Xinjiang style restaurant where you can find the food from Xinjiang, which is a very good cuisine, by the way, as well. And also last week I was in Xinjiang. There were also restaurants serving like Cantonese food near my hotel. So I never had any problems to find delicious local food whenever I'm visiting China. Okay, let me find my way through here now. Yeah, it's a very interesting place to visit here because this is like the ancient side of the city. And then you also have a very modern, interesting side to Wuhan here. But I also want to give you 3 traveling tips. If you decide to travel to China, then these tips will definitely help you. Tip number 1, don't expect people here to speak English and be prepared for that. So here in China, it is actually very rare to find people who are speaking English. And that is not a problem. I don't expect people here to speak English. But if you're coming here as a tourist, you might get confused when you want to check in into your hotel and it's a Western brand, a Hilton hotel, and even there at the reception, the people don't speak English. The same at some of the airports, like not really the big airports in like the big cities, but if you travel through some smaller airports, then even there the people don't always speak English. For example, last week I was at the airport in Kashgar and I had a question about my flight, so I asked the information desk person there and they didn't speak English. And here in my hotel when I checked in, nobody there spoke English. And that is something very common in China. So I don't think that's a problem. I don't expect the people here to speak English, but you need to know this and you need to be prepared for that. And you can easily prepare for that by getting yourself a translation app or a translation device. For example, Google Translate works perfectly. It is actually pretty accurate these days already, and you can even download the languages before you start coming to China, and then it also works when you're not connected to the mobile data. So my tip would be to download the Chinese language on Google Translate, and then you are able to use it the whole time here. And also the local people here are very prepared for that. So every time I'm checking into a hotel, they always have like either a little translation device lying on the counter or they are having an app on their phone. So they're always communicating with me with the help of a translation app. And it's the same all around China. Like even like when I'm asking a question to a taxi driver, he's getting out a translation device or a translation app on his phone. So people here are really like they know how to use translation apps and they are prepared for that and they don't hesitate to use them. So normally you won't run into problems communicating with people, but keep in mind or be prepared for that you have to use an app or a translation device for that. And actually the rain is getting a bit stronger now, so let me cover here for a while I'm talking about the second tip. Maybe let me sit here. Walked around a lot on the area now. And my second tip would be to get an eSIM and or a VPN. So you probably know this, many of the Western apps are blocked here in China. So usually you can't access YouTube, Google, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. It's all blocked here. And that can be, of course, a bit annoying. When you're coming here as a Westerner, of course you want to have access to a WhatsApp, send messages, you want to watch YouTube. Maybe you need Google Mail to check your mails, but there's a very simple way around it, and that is by getting an eSIM. So I am using my eSIMs from Holafly, and this is not a sponsored video by Holafly, I can just really recommend them. And when I am having my Holafly eSIM activated, then I can access all of these apps without needing a VPN. So I'm not connected to a Wi-Fi now, just using my mobile data from my eSIM. And here we have YouTube. So I would recommend to get an eSIM. I think it's also working with other eSIMs, not only with the Holafly eSIM, but I'm not 100% sure about that. But if you want to check out Holafly as well, there's a link in the description. Once again, not a sponsored video, I can just really recommend them. But I would also recommend to get a VPN if you really need Western apps. For example, if you need Google Mail for work reasons, then it's good to be double sure. Don't rely 100% on the eSIM. Also get a VPN service. And there are so many different VPNs available. My recommendation would be to not only get one VPN. I'm personally having 3 different VPNs because in my experience, not every VPN is working in China, and most or all of the VPNs are not working 100% of the time. So you can use the big names like Surfshark VPN, for example, which I am using. I'm also using Proton VPN. and they are working sometimes, but not 100% of the times. But there are also like China-specific VPNs available. If you Google just specific VPNs for China, then you will find some unknown ones, and they are usually costing around $10 for a month. So I would recommend get one of these. Maybe get one of the well-known ones on top of that, and then you would be double sure. 2-3 different VPNs plus an eSIM, then I'm pretty sure that 100% of the times you will be able to access the Western apps. And then tip number 3, get Alipay and set it up before you come to China. Like I said already before, this is basically a cashless society here. Everywhere you can pay via an app. Whether it's in a restaurant or a little street vendor or in a supermarket. This is my 4th visit to China, and so far I have never seen a local person paying with cash here. And you can use cash here. Everyone is accepting cash. I think it's even required by law that they have to accept cash. But often they are struggling to have change, especially if you want to pay with a large bill at a small street vendor shop, for example, then he will often struggle to give change. So my recommendation would be to get Alipay. There's an English version available for the app. Set it up, connect your credit card with Alipay before you come to China, and then use... Hello, 你好. Oh, I make a video about China. I'm from Degua. Oh, I don't understand Chinese. I'm from Germany. Degua. Okay, 你好. Actually, that's another point. The people here are very friendly. Also a reason why you should visit China. Friendly people, and yeah, it's like, I don't want to get political, but the politics of a country has nothing to do with the people of a country. I always differentiate between politics and people. And the local people here in China are usually very open, although they don't really speak English, but they are open, they are curious. If they can speak English, they like to talk to you as a foreigner. So I never really had a bad experience here with the local people in China. But what was my point? Alipay. Yeah, download Alipay. There's an English version available for the app. And then set it up, connect your credit card, and then you will be able to use Alipay everywhere in China. And I would also recommend to get an app called Trip.com, which is actually connected with Alipay. So within the Alipay app, there's also like a button for Trip.com, and you can use Trip.com to book trains in China, book hotels, book flights. So whenever I'm traveling around China, I use Trip.com to book my flights and also book trains. It's very easy, everything in English. You're paying the same price, I think, at least as you would when you buy the tickets on the Chinese websites. Maybe they charge a little bit extra, but it's still relatively inexpensive, as I explained earlier. And when you have the Alipay app, you also have access to the Didi app. Also, it's inside Alipay, and Didi is the local taxi hailing app. It's like Uber in the West or Grab in Southeast Asia. So you can just open Alipay, click the Didi button, and then you can order a taxi online. And yeah, the rain has stopped, luckily, so let me collect my umbrella and my bag, and then we can walk towards the exit over there. And yeah, for years the media, especially the Western media, has painted a picture of China that is full with politics and controversy. But yeah, the thing is, when you actually step foot inside this country, it's a very different reality here. It is modern, it is clean, the people here are friendly, the food is amazing, traveling around is very inexpensive. So I can really recommend to put China on your bucket list for next year. And no, I am not paid by the Chinese government. Also, every time I'm posting videos about China, there are people in the comment section accusing me of being paid by the Chinese. That is actually very funny, and not only me, all the other vloggers who are traveling in China are also being accused of that, and we all find it very funny actually. And yeah, some people just can't believe that I, as a foreigner, have a really good experience in China. And yeah, you might not agree with the politics or the political system of a country, but yeah, as a tourist, you are literally zero affected by the political decisions of a country when you are visiting for a week or two. So I think you should not let that ruin an amazing travel experience that you can have in a country. And also, China recently announced new visa regulations that are already starting right now, I think. I'm not sure how the regulations are for every specific country, but for example, as a German, I can enter China visa-free for 30 days now, and that's the same for many other countries, especially Western countries as well. And yeah, this was, by the way, a video on my second channel. On this channel I'm posting like Q&A, talking videos, also shorter videos that don't make it to my main channel. But yeah, if you are curious to see my full-length China videos, I have a big playlist of traveling all around China, then head over to my main channel, Ken Abroad. I will also leave a link in the description. And yeah, let me know all your thoughts or comments about visiting China in the comments, and then stay healthy, stay positive, and see you in the next episode. Ciao guys!